The crystalline vessel emerged from the darkness like a shard of starlight, its faceted surface refracting the morning sun as it descended through Earth's atmosphere. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the window of Orbital Command, her breath catching at the alien ship's otherworldly beauty. Next to her, Science Director Marcus Rivera adjusted his glasses, his hands trembling slightly as he operated the advanced scanning equipment. "Anything deadly about our visitors, Marcus?" Sarah asked, maintaining her composure despite the historic gravity of the moment. "Nothing obvious," Marcus replied, his eyes fixed on the holographic readouts floating before him. "Their technology is elegant, efficient, but what's most interesting is what I'm not seeing. No weapon signatures, no shield harmonics. Either they're completely peaceful, or their tech is so advanced we can't detect it," Sarah finished. She straightened her uniform, a habit from her years of military service. "Well, we're about to find out. They're requesting to dock." The crystalline ship, nearly a kilometer in length, gracefully aligned itself with the station's primary docking port. As the airlocks engaged, Sarah and Marcus made their way to the reception area, joined by diplomatic liaison Dr. Elena Santos. They had drilled for this moment countless times, but nothing could truly prepare humanity for its first contact with an alien civilization. The inner airlock door opened with a soft hiss, revealing three tall, ethereal beings. Their bodies seemed to shift between solid and translucent, like living crystal, and their movements were precise and deliberate. The central figure stepped forward, its voice resonating with harmonic overtones that the translation matrix converted into clear English. "We are the Collective," it announced. "I am First Speaker Lyra. We have watched your species' remarkable progress with great interest." Sarah stepped forward, bowing slightly. "Welcome to Earth. I am Commander Chen, and with me are Dr. Rivera and Dr. Santos. We're honored by your presence." Lyra's crystalline form shimmered with what might have been amusement. "Your composure is unexpected. Most species require several cycles to adapt to our presence. Humanity has long prepared for this moment," Elena explained smoothly. "Though your form is unique, we've imagined meeting beings very different from ourselves." The aliens were escorted to the station's conference room, where holographic displays showed Earth's current technological achievements. Marcus noticed how the visitors' crystalline forms flickered when certain innovations were mentioned, particularly Earth's quantum computing breakthroughs and fusion containment solutions. "Your progress is remarkable," Lyra observed, "but also concerning. The Collective exists to guide developing civilizations toward stable integration with the galactic community. We offer membership, which includes access to advanced technologies, trade routes, and protection." Sarah caught the subtle emphasis on protection and exchanged a glance with Marcus. "And what would membership require?" she asked. "Minor adjustments to your development trajectory," another crystalline being explained. "The Collective oversees technological advancement to ensure stability. Your current path is uncertain." Elena leaned forward. "Could you be more specific about these adjustments?" Lyra projected a holographic document, the membership treaty. As Marcus studied it, his expression grew increasingly troubled. The technical specifications buried in the appendices revealed the truth. Earth would need to dismantle its quantum research facilities, limit its AI development, and place its fusion programs under collective oversight. "We'll need time to review this proposal," Sarah said diplomatically. "Of course," Lyra agreed, "though we should mention, all 317 species we've contacted have accepted membership. The benefits are quite compelling." After the visitors returned to their ship, the human leaders gathered in a secure conference room. Marcus projected his analysis onto the main screen. "They're afraid," he stated simply. "Their technology is elegant but stagnant. They've optimized and refined, but there's no innovation. Meanwhile, we've solved problems in ways they never considered. The treaty would cripple our development," Elena added. "We'd be trading our future for their protection against threats we don't even know exist." Sarah stood by the window, watching the crystalline ship shimmer in Earth's orbit. They expect us to accept 317 species, and not one refusal. That's not unity. That's control. The next day, Sarah delivered Earth's response. The crystalline beings' reaction to their refusal was subtle but unmistakable. Their forms briefly lost coherence, fractal patterns cascading through their bodies in what might have been shock or anger. "Perhaps you misunderstand the magnitude of what we offer," Lyra said, her harmonic voice carrying an edge of tension. "The galaxy is vast and often hostile. Independent species rarely survive their first encounters with established powers." "We understand perfectly," Sarah replied calmly. "Humanity appreciates your offer, but we choose to forge our own path. We welcome peaceful relations and fair trade, but we will not surrender our autonomy." "This is most unprecedented," Lyra said. "We will report your decision to the collective, but know that this path you choose is dangerous. There are entities in the galaxy far less benevolent than us." As the crystalline ship prepared to depart, Marcus approached Sarah. "They'll be back," he said quietly. "We've shown them something they've never seen before, a species confident enough to say no." Sarah nodded. "Then we better make sure we're ready. Send word to all Earth's research facilities. Everything goes into overdrive. If they return, they'll find humanity even stronger than before." The crystalline ship accelerated away from Earth, its faceted surface catching the last rays of sunlight before disappearing into the depths of space. But this was just the beginning. Humanity had announced its presence on the galactic stage, not with submission, but with defiance, and the galaxy would never be the same. 6 months after Earth's rejection of the collective's treaty, humanity's progress accelerated at a pace that shocked even its own leaders. Deep beneath the Atacama Desert, Marcus Rivera stood in a vast chamber filled with quantum processors that pulsed with an ethereal blue light. Each crystalline matrix, inspired by but fundamentally different from their visitors' technology, represented a new approach to computing that the collective had never imagined. Commander Chen's voice echoed through his comm unit. "Marcus, we've got company. 3 collective ships just emerged at the edge of the solar system. Different design this time. They look more industrial." "Right on schedule," Marcus replied, checking the final calibrations on the quantum network. "They'd probably think we've had time to reconsider their offer. Should I head up?" "No, stay with the project. Alina and I can handle the diplomacy. Just be ready." The new collective vessels were angular and utilitarian, lacking the elegant crystalline design of their first visitors. As they approached Earth's orbit, dozens of satellites silently tracked their movement, gathering data that fed directly into Marcus's quantum systems. In orbital command, Sarah watched the approaching ships with Alina at her side. "Trade delegation," Alina suggested, though her tone indicated she didn't believe it. "More likely economic pressure," Sarah replied. "Classic strategy. If diplomatic isolation doesn't work, try financial strangulation." The collective's new representative, Economics Director Ven, was a stark contrast to Lyra. His crystalline form was shot through with metallic veins, and his movements were sharp and precise. "We come with concerns," he announced without preamble. "Your rapid expansion threatens regional stability." Alina raised an eyebrow. "Our activities within our own solar system threaten stability. Your methods of resource extraction and industrial development are unconventional," Ven stated. "The collective maintains certain standards to ensure fair distribution of resources among developing species. Perhaps you could be more specific about these concerns?" Sarah asked, though she already knew where this was heading. Ven projected a holographic map of Earth's solar system, highlighting the asteroid belt and the mining operations around Jupiter's moons. "Your efficiency exceeds established parameters. This creates market imbalances that could destabilize trade relationships between member species." What Ven didn't know was that beneath the Atacama Desert, Marcus was watching this entire exchange through quantum-entangled sensors that the collective couldn't detect. His fingers flew over holographic controls as he compiled real-time analysis of the collective ship's technology. "We have a proposal," Ven continued. "The collective will purchase exclusive rights to your resource extraction technologies. In exchange, we'll guarantee you premium access to our trade networks." Sarah and Elena exchanged glances. This was the real purpose of the visit, not to stop Earth's development, but to control and profit from it. "That's a generous offer," Elena said carefully. "However, our technologies are integral to our independence." Ven's metallic veins pulsed with subtle patterns. Independence is an illusion in an interconnected galaxy. The collective's economic protocols exist to protect all species. "Protection through control," Sarah noted. "Just like the membership treaty." "You misunderstand," Ven insisted. "Without the collective's economic framework, you risk isolation. Many species would hesitate to trade with an unaligned world." While the conversation continued above, Marcus made a startling discovery. The quantum processors had decoded enough of the collective's communications to reveal a hidden truth. "Sarah," he whispered through their secure channel, "they're not just worried about our technology. They're afraid of how we think." The data was clear. Humanity's approach to problem solving, combining innovations in unexpected ways, taking conceptual leaps that ignored established paradigms, represented something the collective had never encountered. Where they sought to perfect existing solutions, humans constantly explored new possibilities. Back in the conference room, Sarah stood. "Director Ven, we appreciate the collective's concern for galactic economic stability. However, Earth must decline your proposal. We believe that true stability comes from diversity of approach, not uniformity of method." Ven's crystalline form briefly flickered with what might have been frustration. "This is unwise. The collective's economic protocols have maintained peace for millennia. Your continued independence threatens this balance." "Perhaps," Elena suggested diplomatically, "the balance needs to be questioned. Stagnation can be as dangerous as chaos." After the collective ships departed, Sarah received an urgent message from Marcus. "You need to see this," he said, his voice tense with excitement. "The quantum network found something in their encrypted transmissions. There are others out there, species that operate outside the collective's control, and some of them are very interested in what we're doing." Sarah smiled. "Then maybe it's time we made some new friends. How long until the quantum fold drive is ready?" 3 months, maybe less. We've solved the containment issues they never could. Sarah, we're about to change everything. As Earth's first true faster-than-light ship took shape in a hidden facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, humanity prepared for its next step into the galaxy. The collective had expected submission and found defiance. They had sought to control humanity's growth and instead sparked a revolution in human innovation. The game was changing, and the galaxy's balance of power was about to shift in ways the collective never imagined. Humanity wasn't just refusing to play by their rules. They were about to rewrite them entirely. The quantum fold drive hummed with barely contained power as Earth's first true starship, the ESS Horizon, prepared for its maiden voyage. In the command center, Sarah Chen watched the final preparations, while Marcus fine-tuned the quantum navigation systems. Neither of them had expected to be here. Sarah as mission commander, Marcus as chief science officer, but they were the only ones who truly understood what they might face. "Quantum fold matrix stable," Marcus reported, his fingers dancing over holographic controls. "We're ready." Sarah nodded to Elena, who had insisted on joining the mission as diplomatic advisor. "Send the message. Attention collective observation vessels." Elena broadcast on all frequencies. "This is a courtesy notification. Earth is about to conduct its first faster-than-light test. We recommend maintaining your current distance for safety." The 3 collective ships that had been lurking at the edge of the solar system for months suddenly burst into activity. Their crystalline surfaces flickered with rapid patterns, what Sarah had learned to recognize as alarm. "They're charging weapons," Marcus noted calmly. "Not targeting us directly, but definitely a show of force. Collective vessels, this is not a request for permission. Sarah transmitted. This is a notification. Horizon. Execute quantum fold. The stars blurred and stretched as the quantum fold drive engaged. Unlike the collective's brute force approach to FTL travel, Earth's system worked by manipulating space itself at the quantum level. The journey that should have taken weeks lasted only moments. They emerged in orbit around Proxima Centauri, humanity's first extrasolar destination. But they weren't alone. 3 ships in orbit, Marcus reported, not collective design. They're waiting for us. The alien vessels were organic in appearance, their hulls seeming to grow rather than being built. A transmission came through, translated by their quantum computers. Welcome, humans. We are the Free Worlds Alliance. We've been eager to meet you. The Alliance, they learned, was a loose confederation of species who had either rejected collective control or evolved beyond the collective's ability to find them. Their representative, Ambassador Zara, was a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix of her own design, a technological advancement that would have terrified the collective. Your quantum fold drive is impressive, Zara commented as they met aboard her ship. The collective has spent millennia trying to perfect FTL travel, yet you found a completely different solution in months. We had motivation, Sarah replied. Nothing drives human innovation like being told something's impossible. That's exactly why we're interested in an alliance, Zara said. The collective maintains power through technological dependence and economic control, but you've proven there are other paths. Elena stepped forward. We're interested, but we need to understand what we're walking into. The collective clearly sees us as a threat, yet they haven't moved against us directly. Why? Zara's energy form pulsed with what might have been amusement. Because you've already changed the game. Your refusal of their treaties created ripples. Other species are questioning, wondering why humans could say no when they couldn't. The collective is facing something they've never encountered, the idea of alternative possibilities. But it wasn't all good news. The Alliance revealed that the collective's control went deeper than simple treaties. They had embedded their technology so thoroughly into member species' infrastructure that independence was nearly impossible. Worse, they had hidden weapons platforms throughout their territory, ready to maintain peace if any species stepped too far out of line. Then we need to give them a way out, Marcus said, his mind already racing with possibilities. If we can prove there's a viable alternative to collective technology, you'd break their economic and technological control, Zora finished. But they won't allow that easily. Already, they're spreading rumors about Earth, painting you as dangerous radicals who could destabilize the galaxy. Sarah smiled grimly. Then let's give them something real to worry about. Marcus, remember that quantum communication system you were theorizing about? Marcus nodded slowly, catching her meaning. Instant, untraceable communication across any distance. Completely outside the collective's network. If we could give that to other species, you'd create an alternative infrastructure, Zora said, her energy form brightening with excitement. One the collective couldn't monitor or control. As they planned, however, the quantum sensors Marcus had installed detected something troubling. The collective ships that had been watching Earth weren't just observing. They were building something hidden in the outer solar system. Some kind of quantum dampening array, Marcus reported, studying the data. They're trying to create a containment field around the solar system. If they activate it before we return, Earth would be cut off, Elena realized. They're not trying to stop us. They're trying to isolate us, prevent our ideas from spreading. Sarah's expression hardened. How long do we have? The array will be complete in 10 days, Marcus calculated. But that's not our biggest problem. Look at these power readings. If they activate it, the quantum interference could destabilize our sun. They wouldn't, Elena gasped. The loss of life. They'd blame it on our quantum experiments, Sarah said quietly. Use it as an example to keep other species in line. We need to move fast. The Alliance offered immediate assistance, but Sarah had another idea. "No," she said, "this is our fight. But we could use your help spreading a message. Earth is about to demonstrate why independence matters." As the Horizon prepared to return home, Zura pulled Sarah aside. "The collective has ruled through fear and dependence for millennia. What you're planning, it won't just change the game. It will rewrite the rules entirely." Sarah nodded. "That's the thing about humans. We've never been good at following rules we didn't help make." The quantum fold drive engaged, and the Horizon vanished into the depths of space, racing against time to prevent a catastrophe and perhaps spark a revolution that would reshape the galaxy forever. The Horizon burst back into normal space at the edge of the solar system, immediately detecting the massive quantum dampening array under construction. 9 massive crystalline structures formed a geometric pattern around the sun, each one pulsing with ominous energy. Collective ships swarmed around them like insects tending a hive. "They've accelerated construction," Marcus reported, his hands flying over the quantum interfaces. "The array will be operational in 36 hours." Sarah studied the tactical display, her mind racing through possibilities. How many ships? 27 collective vessels, mostly engineering platforms, but at least 8 are warships. They're not even trying to hide anymore. Elena's voice came through the internal comm. "The collective just sent a system-wide broadcast. They're claiming the array is a protective measure to prevent our dangerous quantum experiments from destabilizing local space." Sarah laughed darkly. "Convenient excuse. They get to eliminate a threat and blame us for our own destruction." She turned to Marcus. "Tell me you have something." Marcus projected a complex quantum simulation. "The array works by creating a quantum interference field. It would trap us in normal space, cut off from FTL travel and quantum communications. But the power requirements are massive. They're drawing energy directly from our sun, which is why it would destabilize." Sarah finished. "Can we shut it down?" "Not conventionally. The array is too well protected." But Marcus's eyes lit up with that familiar look of inspiration. "We don't need to shut it down. We can use it." He explained rapidly, his hand sketching diagrams in the air. The quantum dampening array was based on the collective's understanding of quantum mechanics, an understanding that was fundamentally different from humanity's approach, where they saw quantum effects as something to be controlled and contained. Humans had learned to work with quantum uncertainty, to embrace and channel it. "Their array is like a lens," Marcus said. "They're trying to focus quantum effects to create a barrier. But what if we turn that lens into a mirror?" Back on Earth, every quantum facility was brought online, linked into a single network. The Horizon's quantum fold drive spun up to full power, but instead of initiating a jump, it held the energy in a contained state, creating a quantum resonance pattern that spread throughout the solar system. The collective ships noticed something was wrong when their sensors began reporting impossible readings. Energy patterns that shouldn't exist, quantum states that defied their understanding of physics. "This is Commander Chen to all collective vessels," Sarah broadcast. "You have 1 hour to evacuate the solar system. What happens next? We can't guarantee your safety. You threaten us with destruction." The collective commander's response was immediate, his crystalline form visible in the transmission. "We are protecting the galaxy from your reckless experiments." "No," Sarah replied calmly. "You're about to witness one." Marcus initiated the sequence. The quantum network activated, creating a cascading resonance effect that interacted with the dampening array. But instead of containing quantum effects, it amplified them, turning the entire solar system into a quantum laboratory. The results were spectacular. The array's crystalline structures began to glow with impossible colors as quantum states multiplied exponentially. Space itself seemed to ripple as new possibilities manifested and collapsed in microseconds. The collective ships tried to respond, but their technology, based on rigid quantum control, began to malfunction. Their crystalline hulls flickered uncertainly as quantum probability waves washed over them. "Fascinating," Marcus muttered, watching the data stream in. Their entire technological base assumes quantum effects can be controlled absolutely. They'd never considered working with quantum uncertainty itself. Through it all, Earth's systems continued functioning perfectly. Human quantum technology, designed to embrace and channel uncertainty rather than control it, adapted automatically to the changing conditions. The collective commander's voice came through again, now tinged with something that might have been fear. "Stop this. You're changing the fundamental nature of space in this sector." "That's the point," Sarah replied. "You tried to trap us in a quantum cage. Instead, we're turning the entire solar system into a quantum nexus, one that operates on our principles, not yours." The effect spread further than anyone had predicted. The quantum cascade resonated through subspace, creating a network of quantum connections that linked Earth to dozens of nearby star systems. The Free Worlds Alliance ships, waiting at the edges of those systems, recognized the opportunity immediately and activated their own quantum devices, strengthening the network. In the space of a few hours, humanity had rewritten the rules of space travel and communication for an entire sector of the galaxy. The collective's carefully controlled quantum architecture was rendered obsolete. "Multiple ships entering the system," Elena reported. "Free Worlds Alliance vessels. And others. Collective member species breaking the way to join the quantum network." Sarah watched as the collective ships retreated, their quantum-based technology unable to function in the new environment they had created. "Send a message to Earth," she ordered. "Tell them to prepare for guests. I think we're about to have a lot of species interested in learning our approach to quantum mechanics." Marcus looked up from his console, his expression a mix of awe and concern. "Sarah, the quantum cascade. It's still spreading. We didn't just change the rules for our solar system. We may have started a transformation that will affect the entire galaxy." "Good," Sarah said firmly. "The galaxy needs some uncertainty. It's been too predictable for too long." As the last collective ships vanished into FTL, leaving their partially constructed array behind, humanity prepared for its new role in the galaxy. They had done more than defeat an attempt to contain them. They had proven that there were always alternatives, always new ways of thinking about old problems. The quantum cascade continued to spread, carrying with it a message that would echo through the galaxy. The future belongs to those who dare to imagine it differently. 1 month after the quantum cascade event, Earth's orbital space had transformed into a bustling hub of interstellar activity. Ships of countless designs filled the skies. Crystalline vessels from breakaway collective worlds, organic ships from the Free Worlds Alliance, and entirely new configurations that defied conventional classification. In Orbital Command's Grand Conference Chamber, Sarah Chen stood before representatives from over 50 species, all drawn to Earth by the promise of a different way forward. The quantum cascade wasn't just a defensive measure, she explained, gesturing to the holographic display, showing the spreading network of quantum-connected systems. It was proof that there are always alternatives to established methods. We didn't just reject the collective's control. We demonstrated why their entire approach to technology and progress was fundamentally limited. Marcus stepped forward, his quantum interface projecting real-time data from the transformed sectors of space. The network continues to grow. Each system it touches becomes a node in a new kind of interstellar community. Ships can travel between connected systems almost instantly. Communication is immediate. But most importantly, every species is free to develop their own approach to using these phenomena. A crystalline being, once a high-ranking collective scientist, raised what passed for a hand. But how can you maintain stability without centralized control? The collective's protocols existed for a reason. Elena, who had been quietly observing, answered this one. By embracing uncertainty rather than fearing it. Look at this chamber. Every species here has a unique perspective, a different way of thinking. That diversity isn't a threat to stability. It's the source of true progress. The evidence was undeniable. In just 1 month, species free from collective restrictions had already begun developing new technologies that combined their traditional approaches with Earth's quantum principles. The organic ships of the Free Worlds Alliance now incorporated quantum resonance chambers. Former collective worlds were redesigning their crystalline technology to work with quantum uncertainty rather than against it. But the collective hadn't disappeared entirely. Reports came in regularly of their ships massing at the edges of transformed space, trying to prevent the quantum cascade from spreading further. They had termed it the human contamination and declared any worlds touched by it to be quarantined. "Let them try to contain this," Marcus said during a private meeting with Sarah and Alina. "They don't understand. The more they resist, the more species will want to know what they're trying to hide. We've shown the galaxy that their way isn't the only way. You can't unknow that." Sarah studied the latest reports from the quantum network. They're already losing control. 3 more collective worlds requested connection to the network this morning. They're not just leaving, they're bringing their knowledge with them. The collective's entire information monopoly is crumbling. And we've confirmed that at least 24 species have started developing their own unique applications of quantum technology, Elena added. "The diversity of approaches is beautiful. It's everything we hoped for." But challenges remained. Not all species were ready for such rapid change. Some worlds, too dependent on collective infrastructure, needed help transitioning to independence. Earth found itself in a new role, not as a ruler or controller, but as a facilitator, helping others find their own paths forward. "We're establishing education centers," Elena reported to the assembled representatives, "not to teach our way as the only way, but to help species understand the principles behind quantum mechanics so they can develop their own approaches. The age of depending on others for technological advancement is over." The quantum cascade had another unexpected effect. As it spread, it revealed ancient quantum signatures that the collective had either missed or ignored, evidence of long-lost civilizations that had explored different paths of development before the collective imposed their standardized approach. They didn't just control the present, Marcus realized, studying the data. They rewrote history, hid evidence of alternatives to their way of thinking. But now we can learn from all of it. 6 months after the cascade began, the galaxy had changed irreversibly. The rigid structure of collective control had given way to a dynamic network of independent but interconnected worlds. Ships could travel in ways the collective had deemed impossible. Species communicated and traded directly, without centralized oversight. Innovation flourished as different approaches to science and technology cross-pollinated through the quantum network. In Earth's orbital shipyards, the next generation of human vessels took shape, ships that combined the best innovations from a dozen worlds with humanity's unique insights. But they weren't weapons of war or tools of control. They were exploration vessels, designed to push deeper into the galaxy, to find other species who might be ready to join the growing community of independent worlds. "We didn't just change the rules of space travel," Sarah said, watching the ships under construction. "We changed the rules of everything." Showed that control and standardization aren't the path to stability. Real stability comes from freedom. The freedom to think differently, to try new approaches, to learn from failure and success alike. Marcus smiled, his quantum interface showing the ever-expanding network of connected systems. The collective feared chaos, tried to impose order through control. But look at what's emerged instead. Not chaos, but complexity. A living, growing system of different species working together, each in their own way. "That's humanity's real gift to the galaxy," Elena concluded. "Not our technology or our methods, but the simple truth we've always known. There's always another way. You just have to be brave enough to look for it." As Earth's first deep space exploration fleet prepared to launch, carrying representatives from a dozen allied species, the message that had started with one small world's defiance had become a promise spreading across the stars. The future belongs to those who dare to imagine it differently, and no power in the galaxy can contain the force of free thought and innovation unleashed.